Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hemangmati, when you're ready, you can start, Mati.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 6, Text 30 to 39. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudire Nashtaprayesu Bhatresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. Text 30. All pleasing Bali Maharaj, with mild words, Lord Indra, the king of the demigods, who was most intelligent, very politely submitted all the proposal he had learned from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. The proposals submitted by King Indra were immediately accepted by Bali Maharaj and his assistants, headed by Sambara and Aristanemi, and by all the other residents of Tripura. O Maharaj Parikshit, gestures of enemies, the demigods and the demons thereafter made an armistice between them. Then, with great enterprise, they arranged to produce nectar as proposed by Lord Indra. Thereafter, with great strength, the demons and demigods, who were all very powerful and who had long, stout arms, uprooted Mandara mountain. Crying very loudly, they brought it towards the ocean of milk. Because of conveying the great mountain for a long distance, King Indra, Maharaj Vali, and other demigods and demons became fatigued. Being unable to carry the mountain, they left it on the way. The mountain known as Mandara, which was extremely heavy, being made of gold, fell and smashed many demigods and demons. The demigods and demons were frustrated and disheartened, and their arms, thighs, and shoulders were broken. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who knows everything, appeared there on the back of his carrier, Garuda. Observing that most of the demons and the demigods had been crushed by falling off the mountain, the Lord glanced over them and brought them back to life. Thus they became free from grief, and they even had no bruises on their bodies. The Lord very easily lifted the mountain with one hand and placed it on the back of the Garuda. Then he too got on the back of Garuda and went to the ocean of milk, surrounded by the demigods and demons. Text 39. Thereafter Garuda, the chief of bird, unloaded Mandara mountain from his shoulder and brought it near the water. Then he was asked by the Lord to leave that place, and he left. Thank you, Haribo.
Thank you, Hemangi Mataji, for reading today's Bhagavatam section slokas translation. And thank you all for joining. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th Canto, Chapter 6. The demigods and demons declare a truce. Slokas 30 to 39. Thank you, Sundarananda Prabhu, for giving this opportunity so that I can share a few points from Srila Prabhupada's purport for my own purification. So I will start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachatta Deshatarani. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktaranda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are in 8th Canto, predominantly talks about Manvantras, so about the Manus and things related to Manu. And Sukadeva Goswami is narrating the previous 6 Manus that appeared in the current day of Lord Brahma. And he's going through some of the pastimes of Lord Hari in these Manvantras. And we heard about Gajendra Moksha, where Krishna appeared as Lord Hari and protected his dear devotee Gajendra. And now we are in the section of churning of milk ocean. So this happened the last chapter we heard. This happened in the sixth Manu, who was Chakshusha, the son of Chakshmanu. So during this time, in this Manvantara, Krishna appeared as Ajita, and Sukadeva Goswami mentioned that. So this Ajita, the Supreme Lord, taking the shape of a tortoise and holding the Mandara mountain, churned the ocean and produced the nectar for the demigods. And of course, Maharaj Parikshit was very eager to hear about this pastime, and hence Sukadeva Goswami narrated this pastime, saying that so once upon a time, how the demigods were cursed by Durvasa Muni, and they were defeated by the demons in a battle and lost the heavenly kingdom. And due to that, they all went to the Lord Brahma and narrated what happened. And then Lord Brahma took all the demigods and he went to the bank of the ocean milk and offered wonderful prayers to Lord Vishnu. And in this chapter, we saw so far that due to the prayers offered by Lord Brahma and all the demigods, so Lord Vishnu was very pleased and he appeared before them. And when he appeared, his bodily effulgence is so wonderful that the Lord Brahma or all other demigods were not able to see Lord Vishnu. And of course, after some time, Brahma was able to see. And then along with Lord Shiva, he started offering prayers, saying that, the Supreme Lord is eternal. He has no material qualities. In fact, he is above the material qualities, and all the material nature is working under his directions. And he's also worshipable for all the demigods like that. And Krishna is very pleased. The Supreme Lord Vishnu is very pleased with the prayers that are offered by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So then he started giving the instructions to them, like saying that he advised the demigods to make a peace proposal to the demons. And he told that, make a truce, and then both the demigods and demons could churn the ocean of milk. And for churning the ocean of milk, they need a rope. And Lord Vishnu mentioned that Vasuki can be used as the rope. And they need also the churning rod. And the churning rod can be used as the Mandara mountain can be used as the churning rod. And he also mentioned that beginning the poison will be produced, but not to be worried or fearful. Lord Shiva can help by consuming that. Not only that, there are many other attractive things will be produced, but do not be agitated or captivated by those things. And even if there are some disturbance, do not be angry. So like this, Lord Vishnu gave the instructions and advised the demigods, and then he disappeared. And of course, following the instructions of the Supreme Lord, so the demigods now they approach to the demons headed by Bali Maharaj to make a peace proposal or truce. So, and we'll continue that pastime today, going through the slokas 30 to 39. So in this 30th sloka, we see that so Indra, so he pleased Bali Maharaj, Santavyatyathva. So how did he pleased? He pleased with mild words, slakasnaya. So this is also very one of the thing that as a sadhaka we can develop this quality of the speech. So because Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that one of the austerity of the speech is to speak pleasingly. So our words should be very pleasing, priya, to the others. And it should not be agitating, anudvegakaram. So it should not be agitating. So so similarly here also Indra spoke very nicely, pleasingly, with mild words and pleased Bali Maharaj. So from this we can see that the words are very powerful. So when we convey a message, if we put it in an appropriate way, then the other person will be very pleased. But the same message, if it's conveyed in with the different words, then it could cause a great pain to others. So that's why, so I have to see. And here we see that, Indra speaking Bali Maharaj nicely, so that work can be done, whatever the task can be done. So similarly, in this material world also, when we have to accomplish something, we have to have support from many others. Then if we speak nicely, they can also come and join with us, and then our task can also be accomplished. And in the 31st sloka, so we see that whatever the proposal King Indra submitted, Bali Maharaj immediately accepted. And his assistants, headed by Sambara assistant. So everyone accepted it. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that so why Bali Maharaj accepted immediately? Because he felt that this is a very good opportunity for him. Like both demons and demigods together work together and then produce nectar. So he thought that we can snatch the nectar and we only drink. Only the demons will drink. We will not give it to the demigods. If the demigods comes for a fight to take the nectar, they can easily defeat because they already defeated one time and now they are weak, so they can again defeat it. So that's the reason Bali Maharaj and his assistant immediately accepted this proposal, because it looks very favorable for them. Of course, demigods also have the same plan. Like once the nectar is produced, they will only drink, and they will not give it to the demons. So, and Prabhupada mentions that. So, from these incidents, we can see that the politics or diplomacy or propensity to cheat. So, all these things we not only find on this Earth planet, but it is also we can also see that in the higher planet systems, which is happening between the demigods and demons. Of course, one of the defect of a conditioned living entity in this material world is a propensity to cheat. One of the defects. That's why it is mentioned that whatever the knowledge that comes from a conditioned living entity with their own mental speculation, it will not be accurate because they have defects. So, of course, unless it matches with the scriptures, then it will not be accurate. So that's why it is recommended to accept the Shabda Pramana. So the words that are coming from the scriptures are from the mouth of acharyas, pure devotees. Because this information or this knowledge is given by Krishna, so who is above these material modes and doesn't have any defects. So that's why it is perfect. And this knowledge comes through the Guru Param. So, and Prabhupada mentions that the only difference between demigods and demons is here is demigods are following the advice of Lord Vishnu, and they took the shelter of Krishna. And Krishna is on their side. But whereas the demons, they don't care about the Lord Vishnu. So that's why the godless party or people who doesn't take shelter of Krishna, so they will never be happy and they will never be victorious. But whoever takes the shelter of Krishna, at the end we see that the devotee will be victorious. Not only victorious, they will be always very happy. So that's the conclusion, am I right? Sanjay gives in the Bhagavad Gita also. Wherever Krishna is there and Arjuna is there, then so there will be victory and opulence. So all those things. So in the text 32, and the demigods and demons, they made a truce between both of them. Then they arranged to produce nectar as proposed by Lord Indra. And here Prabhupada mentions about the word samvidam. Samvidam means they both agreed. Demons and demigods, they both agreed. Thereafter made an armistice. So they both agreed. So what is the agreement? To stop fighting. So they don't want to fight between them. So at least for a time being. And then work together to produce nectar. And Prabhupada quotes Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's one of the sloka. So there are different meanings of this samvidam. So one of them is fighting. So samvidyudde pratijanyayam. So one of the meaning is fighting. There are couple of other meanings like in promising, for satisfying, in addressing, or by practical action. So there are different meanings, but in this contest, it is to stop fighting between both of them, demons and demigods. And then because they have made a truce, so now they were working together, and with great strength, both demons and demigods, and we see that they are very powerful, had a long stout arms, uprooted Mandara mountain. And we hear from Bhagavatam the how big is this Mandara mountain. So Mandara mountain is described that a mountain surrounding by Sumera mountain and with a height of 10,000 yojanas, so which is approximately 80,000 miles height, and even the length is the same as the height. So which means that it is a 10,000 yojanas or 80,000 miles height, and also it is 80,000 miles in the length. So it's very big. But here we see that both demons and demigods together, they uprooted Mandara mountains, Utpatya. So from this we can see that so how strong they are, both demons and demigods. So that's why here mentioned they are very powerful and competent, Durmadaha. And in the next sloka we see that because of conveying the great mountain for a long distance, and Indra and Maharaj Bali both and other demigods and demigods became fatigued. So they became tired. So because this Mandara mountain is very big, very huge, so carrying for a while, they became very tired. They are carrying this Mandara mountain from where it is towards the ocean of milk, so that they can keep this Mandara mountain in the ocean uh, and use it as a rod to churn the milk ocean. But here we see that, after carrying for to certain extent, so they both became very tired. So both demons and demigods, because it's very huge and unable to continue to carry this Mandara mountain towards the churning of the milk ocean. So they left it on the way because they became very tired, and they were not able to continue to carry further. And in the next sloka, we see that uh, this Mandara mountain is extremely heavy. Why it is extremely heavy? Because it is being made of gold. So, and Prabhupada mentions that uh, constitutionally, the gold is very heavy than the stone. So we feel stone itself is heavy, but gold is very heavier than the stone. And this Mandara mountain, which is 80,000 miles height and 80,000 miles length, this is all made by gold. And Prabhupada mentions that suppose if we take a 2 by 2 size of a stone and 2 by 2 size of a gold, so that the same size of the gold is 7 times heavier than the regular stone. So we can understand, this same Mandara mountain, if it is all with stones and marbles or granite, so if it is like some size, some weight, since it is made with gold, it is 7 times higher than the regular weight when it is made with stone or granite or marbles like that. So it's very heavy. The reason it is very heavy is because Prabhupada mentioned that the gold is highly dense. So it has a high density. So that's why its height is 7 times higher than the similar size of a marble or granite or stone like that. So that's why it is very heavy. And of course, even though it is that such high, both demons and demigods were able to uproot the Mandara mountain and took the Mandara mountain to a little distance from the place where it is towards the ocean of milk, and unable to carry forward, they left it there. And while keeping it there, some of the demons fell underneath and they left. They were died, and some of them they're smashed. So some of them were smashed, many demons and demigods. And we see in the next sloka that the demigods and demons were frustrated and disheartened, and we see that their arms, thighs, shoulders were all broken. And Krishna, Supreme Lord Vishnu, knowing everything, he appeared there on back of his carrier Garuda. So, so we see that Krishna knows everything. So, because he's a Sarvantaryami, so he's there everywhere, omnipresence. So, and Lord Brahma also mentions in his Brahma Samhita that Annantarastu Paramanu Chayantarastam. So, he's there in each and every atom, and he is also there in between two atoms. So, which means that he is there everywhere. So, and since he is there everywhere, so he knows everything what is going on in every place like that. So, understanding what is going on, so Lord Vishnu appeared at that scene, coming on the back of his carrier Garuda, and observing that most of the demons and demigods had been crushed by the falling of the mountain. So we see that here the Lord glanced over them and brought them back to the life. So Prabhupada mentions that this is a proof of the omnipotency of the Supreme Lord. So very powerful. And he is, that's why it is mentioned that there is no one equal or above the Supreme Lord. Tatha samascha adhikascha drishyate. So there is no one above or equal to Supreme Lord. So here we see that, many of the demons and demigods were crushed under this Mandara mountain, but Lord appeared and glanced over them, and they were all brought back to the life. And not only they brought back to the life, but they became free from grief, because they were disheartened earlier, or frustrated when they were not able to accomplish the task. But now, just by the glance of the Supreme Lord, they were free from the grief, and they even had no bruises on their bodies. So that's why Krishna's omnipotence is mentioned here. So that's why Prabhupada mentions many places that, if someone is claiming him as the Supreme Lord, and he wanted to enjoy with many girls and perform Rasa Leela, so Prabhupada mentions that first they have to do these kind of things, lifting the Mandara mountain, or with their glance, they can able to bring back someone back from life like that. And here we see that the Lord very easily lifted the mountain with one hand and placed it on the back of the Garuda. Then he too got on the back of the Garuda and went to the ocean of milk, surrounded by the demigods and demons. And Prabhupada mentions that if somebody was told that Krishna lifted this Mandara mountain with one hand, and then he kept on the Garuda very easily, so that if it is a practicing devotee, then they will believe it. But if it is not a practicing devotee, or doesn't believe on the in the Supreme Lord's hand in the creation, then they will not believe it. So that's why Prabhupada mentions that there are two classes. So one is the demons and another is demigods. So the demons, they will not believe. They always incline towards the by chance this creation is happened, or like the Big Bang theory, like that. There is a great explosion, and that's why this universe was, or these planets are created. So those kind of theories they will believe it. But the devotees and the demigods, so because they have taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, they will believe the hand of the Supreme Lord in this creation. So when they hear these kind of pastimes, so their demigods or devotees, they will immediately accept. So seeing the hand of the Supreme Lord. But the demons, they will not happen. They will not agree it. They will think that it is a mythological. So it's just somebody came up with these stories like that. They will not believe, because they don't have the faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So that's why the faith is very important. And that is the first step in the process of devotional service. Adau Shraddha Tatau Sadhu Sangha. So when somebody has the faith, so then they will try to take the association of the devotees. So through that, they will start the bhajana kriya, and then they will get rid of anartha nivritti, and slowly, they will come closer to Krishna, and then they can go back home, back to Godhead, and situate in their eternal positions. But of course, in some cases, even though this person doesn't have the faith, so devotees, because they are very compassionate, they will approach these people and create faith on them by giving this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So once the faith is established a little bit, then they can start the process of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it is very hard for one to believe these wonderful pastimes, divyam. So these pastimes that are performed by Krishna. So that's why the faith is very important. We hear that, am I right, in the pastime of Cobbler and Brahmana. So when Narada Muni mentioned to this Brahmana that so when he visited Lord Vishnu in the Vaikunta, so what Vishnu is doing, he is pushing an elephant through the needle of eye of the needle eye of the eye of the needle. So he's pushing a big elephant through the eye of the needle. And this Brahmana did not believe it because he doesn't have that much faith. He has a faith, but doesn't have that much faith. But this cobbler, because he is a sincere devotee, he immediately believed it. Narada Muni asked, how come he believes this thing? Then cobbler explains that what is not possible for Krishna, because he showed this gigantic tree, saying that, it came through a small seed. And not only it came through small seed and became a gigantic tree, but it also producing so many seeds like that, which can produce gigantic trees. So there is nothing impossible for Krishna. So whoever has the strong faith, they will take shelter of Krishna, and they will only want Krishna. Like Arjuna had a great faith in Krishna and is a surrender devotee of Krishna. That's why during the Kurukshetra war, to get support from Krishna, so he only asked Krishna. He didn't ask the huge army of Krishna when Krishna gave the option whether he wants me or whether he wants the huge army. But Duryodhana, he wanted huge army, but Arjuna, because he has great faith in Krishna, so he requested Krishna to be on his side. So whoever takes shelter of Krishna, so they will be victorious, and they will achieve the unlimited happiness. Like Duryodhana was defeated even though he had a large army, but Arjuna victorious because he has taken shelter of the Krishna. So that's why here we see that Krishna not only lifted, Lord Vishnu not only lifted very easily this huge Mandara mountain, but he also put on the back of the Garuda, where both demons and demigods were not able to carry. But here we see that Garuda was able to hold this Mandara mountain, and not only hold that, he also took that Mandara mountain towards the ocean of milk. So we see that, Krishna, when he empowers someone, they can also accomplish great tasks. So here also Garuda was empowered by the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So he was able to hold this Mandara mountain and then taking towards the churning of the milk ocean, for the purpose of used as the rod in churning the ocean of the milk. And in the last sloka for today, so thereafter Garuda, the chief of the birds, unloaded Mandara mountain from his shoulder and brought it near the water. Then he was asked by the Lord to leave the place, and he left. So here we see that, Prabhupada mentions in the purport that Garuda was asked to leave because so the rope for churning the ocean of milk is Vasuki. So Vasuki has to come, but Vasuki is in the form of snake. So and Garuda is the bird carrier of Lord Vishnu. So there is a natural, the snakes are the natural food for the birds. So the Vasuki could not come when the Garuda is there. So that's why, so Prabhupada mentions that Lord Vishnu asked Garuda to leave so that Vasuki can come, and then he can become as the rod to churn this ocean of the milk. So we see that, Krishna, Lord Vishnu, arranged everything. This wonderful arrangement is made by Krishna. So nothing will take place by accident. There's nothing like that, accidentally this has been taken like that. So everything is arranged by the Krishna. So only thing is whether we believe or not is depends on us. So who doesn't believe? So they will take the shelter of this word called accident. So it accidentally happened. So this universe was created by accident or through the big explosion, Big Bang theory like that. But devotees understand that, and they will see the hand of Krishna in the each and every activity. And of course, Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita that this material world is working under its direction. Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. So that's what devotees do see the Krishna's hand in each and every incident, and they take complete shelter of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So similarly, as a practice in devotee, we develop this faith and take the shelter of the Supreme Lord Krishna, then we can make this human life for the higher and the best purpose of going back home, back to Godhead. So thank you all for joining. I'll pause it here. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.